Good evening, good evening. I was having a bit of a sleepless night, so decided to flip through videos on YouTube and came across a new video from TechMoan, and what do you know? Looks like he finally had a chance to get around to talking about mini discs. I won't spoil his video for you too much, but just a few things I wanted to respond to. One thing he mentioned that was mini disc was more popular in Europe and Japan than it ever was in the United States, and I found that to be true, but fortunately, I was one of the people that actually did dabble in Minidisc more than most people. One other thing that he mentioned is that the cost of it was quite high, and that certainly was true. And when I first was introduced to Minidisc in the mid-90s, it was so expensive that my father and I actually decided to go in on Minidisc together. You know, we were going to get one recorder and then one player, both portable, so that way we wouldn't both have to spend quite as much money on the format. So that seemed like a good idea at the time. He kept the recorder, you know, because it was the nicer unit, and I would get the player only, and then he would let me use the recorder anytime I wanted it. Unfortunately, I don't have the player anymore. I flipped through minidisc.org. It was very helpful, and I'm fairly sure it was the Sony MZ-E20 or E40, at least based on the photographs. But I don't have that anymore. Fortunately, I do still have the recorder that he used, because obviously no one's used minidisc in many, many years, and I actually do still have it here. And this was the recorder that we shared. It was the MZ R30 from Sony. It's a really nice unit. It's all metal. It's a magnesium alloy. I don't think it's aluminum. It's a different finish in aluminum, and it's very hard to scratch. I think aluminum would have scratched up easier, even in anodized. And it still works. Unfortunately, it does have one of these horrible lithium-ion rechargeables batteries from the dawn of time, which no longer works, and I'm not willing to spend the money to replace this. So you do have to plug it into an AC adapter, but other than that, it does work fine. This one also had an interesting feature where if you screwed this little battery pack adapter to these two connectors here on the side, you could use probably 2 AA's with it. I don't recall, maybe 4, but 4 would have been enormous. Maybe they were 3 AA's. It was an oddball thing. It takes 6 volts in, which makes me think it would normally use 4 batteries. But if we look at the battery pack itself is 3.6 volts. So it's doing either boosting or it's bumping the 6 volts down. And honestly, I don't know which. But this was the original recorder that I used for many, many years. It's got this terrific little jog dial. The display is really nice. I don't have a power adapter handy, but I promise it works. And it's nice. It has optical in and out, and then also microphone in. So this one's nice. And then something else I picked up fairly recently for the paltry sum of $10 is this little guy. This is actually, I believe, the successor to the MZR30, or a few generations after. It's the MZR37. This is also a recorder, and I really like this one as well. It's very nice looking. I don't think it's built quite as well as the MZR30. It feels a little bit cheaper. It's plastic, not metal. The back might still be metal, but it's really nice. And one feature I really like about it is that it actually can use AA batteries, so I don't have to deal with an AC adapter or any of that. So if I really had an inkling to, I could take this and carry it around still, although I have no idea why I'd want to do that. But anyways, I'm not going to bore everyone to death talking about Minidisc. As I said, TechMoan made a fantastic video about it. I really enjoyed it. It was quite long. If you really want to watch it, I'll link it in the description. It's quite good. But one thing it reminded me of is when I got this unit, and it made me think, well, why don't I dig out the old recorder and do something fun with it? I got an interesting idea. I was always a big fan of the whole Guardians of the Galaxy, where he's got an old tape deck and he's carrying it around with all this modern technology. So, and I don't own a tape deck. I probably never will own a tape deck again. There's no real need for it. I'm not really an audiophile or a collector of things like that, so not really any reason for that. But something I did think would be neat, what if I did the same with a mini disc? And so I did. So here we have the same idea as the Guardians of the Galaxy mixtape, except this little guy is on a mini disc. We've actually got custom labels, the front, top, and the back. It's got full track listings, and you know it does work really, really well. It's got this nice little slip case. Ooh, shiny, yes, yes. Very nice, very nice. And it does have all the track information. Everything's on there, proper queuing, got the levels really nice, and it sounds really, really good. I'm certainly not going to be carrying this around to play the Guardians of the Galaxy soundtrack, but it certainly was something neat to make, and it does play, and I really like it. And take it, pop it in. That would be it. So really quite cool. One thing that was quite painful is I actually don't have any of the NetMD devices, so I actually had to sit there and use this little jog dial to enter every single bit of information onto this and press enter, and it was quite painful, but it's done now. It came out really nice. I'm very happy with it. Of course, since I'm not going to be carrying this around, and I'm certainly not going to be listening to Minidisc anytime soon, I guess the question I had is, what do I do with this? I really have no idea. And I was actually thinking, you know, TechMoan has really provided me a lot of really interesting entertainment, and I've certainly enjoyed his videos. So I was wondering if he would actually like me to send this to him. I would be more than happy to throw it in an envelope and mail it his way. It's, you know, it's a few grams. It's not going to be expensive to mail this to the UK. I'm certainly going to post a link to this video on his channel and see if he's interested and ask him. And, you know, I just thought it'd be something neat for him to have. And anyways, but that was kind of my fun little thing with Minidisc, at least for the moment. As long as I've got this all out here, you can also take a look. I've actually got a few Minidiscs still, not too many. There were a variety of different blanks available. These are the Max Ls. They're a little bit more of a silver. You've got the TDKs, which have like a golden case, but they're all the same on the inside. Still got a 5-pack here. The TDKs has never really even been used. And I think if I flip through some of these, there they are. I even have a few pre-recorded mini discs. This one's got a bit of a chip in it. Simon and Garfunkel are having a bad day, and I don't remember why I bought this album. It wasn't that good. I think, again, as TechMoan mentioned, there just weren't that many pre-recorded albums on Minidisc, but that's pretty much all I have. Oh, and then I have this little guy, the cleaning cassette, which does work. It's a little weird looking, but yeah, that's pretty much everything I have from Minidisc. Anyways, I've got a few other projects going. I got this guy, and I've got just stuff everywhere all over the place, but we'll get into more videos for those later. But anyways, that's pretty much the end of it, so catch you next time.